Everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. We have a 7-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Going to be talking about the main slate, not the early slate here on the show today. That's the one that I've researched so far, so that's the one we're going to talk about. It has more games. I always like to talk about more games. Hope everyone's having a awesome Monday night, sweating some baseball. I have a couple really good teams going. Liberatore did his thing. He was awesome. Wheeler and Sale were awesome, and like those were my three highest owned pitchers. So good pitching night. My best team is Liberatore, Wheeler, Athletics, twin stack. So hoping that one can do well. We'll see how it works out. I just hit my prop on Kyle Tucker, sweating out some cubbies here. So should be a fun podcast. Like I said, we have a smaller slate, so these are always fun. 7 games. Pitching is really interesting. It always is. I feel like anytime we get these like smaller slates, pitching is always interesting. So hopefully be able to cover everything and give you all a first look like normal. If you have any questions, feel free to post them over there in the YouTube chat. Should have a little bit more time here with the 7-game slate. So, all right, let's get into it. 7 games. If you haven't already, head on over to the Rotogrinders, or not Rotogrinders. See, I always mess up. The Morning Grind YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button. We are not a part of Rotogrinders anymore. I still love the RG crew, work over there with baseball stuff and NASCAR. So, baseball, let's talk about it. San Diego, New York, Yankees, 7.5 total. Dylan Cease, Max Fried. Yankees a pretty big favorite here, minus 180. It was a pretty low scoring game early, I feel like, for this game on Tuesday night. And then it just kind of exploded a little bit. The Yankees had a huge inning against San Diego's bullpen. Let's start with Dylan Cease. Like always starting with the visiting pitcher. Dylan Cease, I mean, he's been very inconsistent this season. His strikeout rate's down a little bit. He's giving up more hard contact, but his swinging strike rate is only slightly down. He's getting hit really hard when he is getting hit. So he just hasn't been that like consistent pitcher. He's only really had like one quality outing. His command seems like it's kind of all over the place. So I am probably out on Dylan Cease here. I like high strikeout pitchers against the Yankees, and Cease has that upside, so I could understand why you would take some shots on him. But the inconsistency, and I talk about it all the time, I hate command issues when it comes to pitching. And his command has been a huge issue, and I don't want to deal with that. I think that we have plenty of like tournament options that we can take shots on this slate, even though it's a smaller slate. So like the price tag for Cease, again, I wouldn't necessarily talk you off of it if you are like on it. But I will say like the inconsistency, the walks, the command, a lot of red flags in that. As far as Max Fried goes, I always like Max Fried on any slate because he just does a really good job of limiting damage and can pitch deep into games, doesn't get hit hard. This team's not going to be able to get all the lefties out, which gives him a little bit more like strikeout upside. I think this is just a spot we are trying to get 25 plus points from Max Fried. And I think like any given day he can go out and do that. So I have interest in Fried. San Diego doesn't strike out a ton, but lefty, his strikeout upside goes up. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need a ton of strikeouts in this matchup at 9,500 on DK. If he can get like 5 or 6 Ks and throw 6 to 7 innings, he's a guy that can go deep into games and limits damage. So I think on this slate, we like him. As far as the Padres bats, they did get Jackson Merrill back on Tuesday. Sorry, my brain's like all over the place, but Jackson Merrill's back. That's not going to help them in this matchup. Lefty. Fried's elite against lefties, so that doesn't help today, but it helps overall for this lineup. So, it's really, I mean, Machado. I thought I talked about him, but I didn't. Machado has been awesome against lefties this year. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Fried does such a good job at limiting the damage. Sorry, I got distracted. That's what happened there. I got distracted. So, but yeah, I mean, Machado. And then on the Yankee side, I mean, I definitely want to see what their ownership looks like on this slate. I could see them being lower owned. If I'm playing the Yankees here, it's a stack. It's just hoping that Dylan Cease doesn't have his good stuff today and he struggles to command. You get in the bullpen early. I mean, he has gotten blown up a couple times this year. I mean, he gave up 9 runs to the Athletics. He just feels like he's getting hit every start, not going deep into games. So I don't hate the Yankees. Full stack for the Yankees. That's how I would approach the Yankees. Yankees full stacks. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay, 8 total in this game. Philly a 130 favorite. We got Christopher Sanchez going up against Shane Baz. I mean, I always start with the visiting pitcher. I'm struggling with this one because it just seems like too good to be true. Why is Sanchez so cheap in this spot? I don't get it. He hasn't scored under 16 DK points in any start this season. I just feel like this is a huge oversight misprice. I think Sanchez is going to be really popular in this matchup at this price point. And I like it. I mean, I don't know. I just look at the price tag. I look at the matchup. We'd like lefties against Tampa. They're not as good against lefties as they are against righties. Not saying they're great against righties either, but I'm just saying, like, this just seems like a huge misprice for a guy that has strikeout ability. He struggles with walks from time to time, but I mean, he's thrown over 95 pitches this season a couple times. I just feel like Sanchez is like way underpriced on DK. Ozuna walk-off double, all right. I faded the Braves today. That's one thing I got right. I talked about it yesterday. I'm in on Andrew Abbott, and I went way underweight on the Braves. I'm in. I think Abbott is I think he's healthier than he was last year. But so yeah, I mean, I like Sanchez a lot on DK. I haven't looked at FanDuel pricing yet. Going to the other side here, Boz. I don't love the matchup. He has pitched well this year. His strikeout rate against lefties is very interesting. He's been striking out lefties at a huge clip. But Philadelphia doesn't really strike out. It's the same thing I was talking about with Rasmussen yesterday. They don't strike out. It's really hard for me to get excited about playing pitchers against this team. And it's not like Boz is underpriced. He's not. So I like Boz. I'm going to play him a lot this year. I think that he has a lot of upside in general, but I don't necessarily like this spot for him. You know, it get repetitive sometimes. I feel like, especially when we're in like series and we get righties against the same team. But like, it's the same stuff I was talking about with Philly yesterday. Their lineup that they're rolling out most nights is very low strikeout. So the upside I feel like is just so limited here. Like Stott 21%, Turner under 20%, Harper under 20%, Schwarber's strikeout rates like 21%, Castellanos, Kepler, like they're just not striking out. They don't have one hitter in this lineup with a strikeout rate over 23% against right-handed pitching this season. So I don't see a ton of upside here. I don't know if I necessarily would stack against him. He does give up hard contact, and he'll give up a home run or two. So I think if I'm playing Philly bats, I'm just targeting home run power. So a home run chase here with Philly. It'd be Harper, Schwarber, my main two. Kepler is still, moderately priced, and he has upside. He has a lot of power against right-handed pitching. So I would just chase home runs with Philly. I don't think I'd full stack them here. On the Tampa side, it's really hard for me to get excited about playing any bat for Tampa against a left-handed pitcher. Maybe Yandy Diaz, but I don't love it. I have a lot of interest in Sanchez today. I might just go down with that ship if he struggles. Just might be my stand today. Just take a huge stand on him. Up next, we got Cincinnati at Atlanta, 7.5 total. Pick'em game. We'll start here. Oh, we got Green against Holmes. This got attacked by. There's like a mosquito. Florida's fun. All right. Cincinnati at Atlanta. Sorry. Totally got distracted. If you're watching live on YouTube, you see me like fighting with something over here. Like, it was like a mosquito. I hate mosquitoes. Green, Holmes. Starting here with Green. I mean, this guy, his strikeout stuff has been awesome. He thought I was on fire. No, I'm not on fire. Hunter Green's strikeout stuff has been awesome this season. His walks are way down. He just looks incredible. 33.3% strikeout rate. Whiff rate really high, close to 30%. Swinging strike rate really high. He's gotten a little lucky as far as like fly ball to home run ratio. But man, his stuff has been awesome this year. He's had over 8 strikeouts 6 times, or 5 times. Sorry, 5 times already this year. That's an incredible start. His strikeout upside is way too high for me not to have some interest here. Atlanta can go. I mean, they are definitely a team that can hit anybody, and Green can struggle with command. So you're always a little concerned about that. But the upside in general in this spot for Green is just too good. I think that he's definitely one of those like one of those high upside tournament options today. Other side of this one, Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes, he's like slightly above average strikeouts. His walk rate continues to be his biggest downfall. His struggles with command, and he'll give up home runs because he's struggling with command. Really struggle with like right-handed power, which kind of benefits him in this matchup. You know, they have McLean, they have Stevenson, Marte. So I get it and I see it. I probably don't get there, but he has enough strikeout upside against this team that if he can keep the ball in the ballpark, he can strike. Like his strikeout upside is still high enough for a 7-game slate. And I don't have a ton of interest in the pitchers after this. We'll talk about Jackson Joby again. But outside of that, I mean, I don't really have a ton of interest in pitchers outside of this. So it's either like, do I want like Fried, Sanchez, Green, Joby, and just make like a pitcher pool of like 4? Or Holmes is kind of on that verge. That's like the 5 pitchers that I have written down that I was looking at pre-show. So that's what I'm looking at here at first glance, first look, my pitching pool. So I'm just kind of debating on whether or not I want Holmes in my player pool or not, because like Cincinnati, they strike out. We like the strikeout upside for Holmes, and like he strikes out enough hitters that even if he gives up 1 or 2 runs, he can still go for like 20 plus at 7,400, which would be great. I think I'm talking myself into playing a little bit. I always like do a first like glance at weather, and like this is one game that night before could potentially have some weather. Atlanta and we're getting closer to summer. It feels like every day, right? Atlanta. We're gonna have that a lot this year with Tampa, Florida afternoon showers. So obviously check the weather, but yeah, I mean, I'm interested right now. I think I'm interested. As far as the bats in this one, Holmes struggles with right-handed power typically. So a McLean, a Stevenson, Marte's someone I really like if he's in the lineup. I don't mind maybe playing the lefties like overall, but I think this is a spot I definitely Would use Cincinnati as like a mini stack if I'm playing them. I don't think I'd full stack them in this spot. As far as the Atlanta bats go, I mean, you can always target Hunter Green for a home run or 2 or 3. His strikeout upside usually like knocks that stuff off. Like, I think if you're targeting Atlanta, you're kind of chasing the home runs. Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Sean Murphy. Eli White has been awesome against righties this year. Hunter Green's just really good. He'll leave a pitch over the middle of the plate and he'll give up fly balls, and he's a massive fly ball guy. So your ground ball hitters, like an Olsen, like Eli White, they're going to benefit from a fly ball pitcher here. So I'm going to target home runs here for Atlanta. I don't know if I would mini stack them. I could definitely see it. I prefer Green still. Moving on. Sorry, sweating the Cubs game a little bit. Need that one. Watching a little bit of baseball, getting distracted a little bit. It happens to the best of us. Need the Athletics to have an inning here. Need the Athletics to have a game. That'd be great. Be good to have a good day. All right. Baltimore at Minnesota. No total in this game. We got Charlie Morton going up against Simone Woods Richardson. I was watching a breakdown of Woods Richardson on John Boy. I love his breakdowns. They're fun. All right. Charlie Morton first. I mean, this is an easy fade for me. I feel like Charlie Morton is finally broken, and I mean, this is just, you can't play this guy. Whatever was working for him last year is just not working anymore. He's really only had one really decent game, and the decent game, he still gave up 4 or 5 runs. He just had a lot of strikeouts against the Red Sox. But man, Charlie Morton he's been awful. Just 18% Ks, almost a 15% walk rate, 245 ISO, 430 WOBA. We'll talk about the Twins bats in a minute, but I'm not playing Charlie Morton today. Simeon Woods Richardson on the other side here. I mean, he's been a decent strikeout to walk ratio guy. Talked a lot about aggression potential last season, and I feel like he's just kind of in the same boat this year. Really struggling with like striking out lefties and getting lefties out, and that's not what you want here against Baltimore. Baltimore has so much talent. They're going to eventually get going. This team's too talented, so I don't really have any interest here in Woods Richardson. Definitely have some interest in the Baltimore bats. Mullins, Henderson, Rutschman, O'Hearn. O'Hearn's always somebody I like to play. Talked about Jackson Holiday yesterday, how he's been hitting the ball really well, so don't mind him. But definitely Baltimore in my player pool as a potential stack today. Don't know where I'd rank them. I always like to check weather and stuff before I like really get into ranking guys. But as far as Minnesota, I love the Minnesota Twins in this game. Here we go again. Charlie Morton he's not good anymore. So I want to play the Twins. It's really good to see Royce Lewis back in this lineup. I know he didn't really do anything. On Tuesday, Buxton had a really good game. Correa had a good game. So I love this spot. The Twins definitely a stack I want to target. I'm gonna stack against Charlie Morton all year. Until he gets DFA'd, I am going to stack against him every start. He's not missing bats. He's giving up home runs. They did say, and like, I will say they did say Charlie Morton would work out of the bullpen. So I don't know what to really expect innings wise here. I should have started with that. I forgot. So I don't know how much Charlie Morton pitches here, but it's like a bullpen type of game is what we're likely going to see here from Baltimore. And Baltimore's bullpen, I talked about it yesterday. They've been awful this year. All right, we got the White Sox at Kansas City taking on the Royals, 8.5 total. Kansas City a minus 225 favorite. Jonathan Cannon against Michael Wacha in this one. Cannon, no real interest for me in Cannon. Like, I mean, the Royals are one of the most tilting offenses in baseball this year, but they don't strike out. Cannon's a below average strikeout pitcher. He struggles with walks. He struggles with hard contact. I think there's better options in this range today. So he's had some decent games a couple times here recently, but I don't think this is a spot I want to play Cannon. I don't believe in it yet. So Michael Wacha is a huge favorite here at home, and he's facing the White Sox, and I feel like he's going to get a lot of ownership today. I don't like it at all. If he's chalky, if for some reason he's not chalky, then maybe I take some shots. But a home favorite minus 225, price tag wise, pitching limited. I think that like we're gonna see 20 to 25% owned Wacha on the slate, and I just don't like it at all. I have zero interest in that whatsoever. I mean, he's had one game over 15 DK points this year, and yeah, the White Sox, they're not good. We can all agree on that, but Wacha's not great either. So if he's chalky, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with it. Like I said, if for some reason he's not getting a lot of ownership, maybe I change my mind on the situation, but I have a hard time not seeing him be popular here. So I'm going to pass. I don't necessarily want to stack the White Sox against him. Benintendi, if he's back in the lineup, I'd have some interest in him. Maybe the catchers, whoever catches, they're both pretty cheap. So whoever catches, I could see maybe using them as like a 1 to 3 man type of deal just because they're cheap. So I don't mind maybe looking at some of the cheap bats and taking advantage of the cheap bats here, especially like with Wacha. Just again, I don't think Wacha is very good, so I like the idea of fading him. Royals, man, they just continue to let us down. I mean, they got the job done eventually to win the game, so that was good. But man, they're not hitting in spots they should be kind of crushing, and I feel like Baltimore's another team that does this to us sometimes. But I mean, the top half of the lineup did okay. Like India, he had a hit late. That was good, but Witt had a hit late. Pascantino had a couple hits, but like we're just not getting the power upside we want from this team. I'm probably going to play Kansas City again because I like Payne. But I could see why you'd be underweight on them. It's just I don't think Jonathan Cannon's really good, like great. He gives up a lot of fly balls and a lot of hard contact, so maybe this is the matchup they need to get the ball up in the air and get some home runs. But it'd be Witt, Pascantino, India, Perez, Garcia. And then I don't mind playing one of the cheap outfielders like Waters or Isbell. They always kind of find their way into my Kansas City stacks just because they're usually cheap and it just kind of works out typically. All right, let's go to Coors. Rained out on Tuesday. It sounds like we're going to get the same pitchers here. The same pitchers I talked about yesterday. Jackson, Joby, and Chase Dollander. 10 total. Detroit, a 185 favorite. So, yeah, I mean, two of the top prospects in baseball. Talked a lot about this yesterday. I like Joby a lot. I think that he has a lot of talent. I think he is facing a really bad lineup. So I like him a lot at 6,700. I don't know how much we'll need him on this slate, but I mean, if you're getting into like the Yankee stacks and stuff like that, you probably need a little bit of value. So I like this. I think he's cheap. I think he has upside. I hate Coors, pitching in Coors, but I'm again not like worried about the matchup, so I don't mind taking shots on him whatsoever. Dollander, again, another top prospect. He's really struggled with lefties. It looks like he's going to be really solid against righties and struggle with lefties. The problem is, like, they have lefties in this lineup. Carpenter, Green, Colt Keith has been okay against righties this year. McKinstry's been okay against righties. So I'm out on him. I would prefer Joby. Again, I don't know how much we'll need him. I haven't built any lineups yet, so I don't know how much value we'll necessarily need on this slate. But I mean, it's not the worst play, I don't feel. So, as far as the Detroit bats go, I like Carpenter. I like Green. I like the Detroit bats a lot today. My problem is, like, I feel like they're going to be really popular. Just kind of looking at how the slate sets up, this game has the highest total by a run and a half. Maybe that when the Baltimore Minnesota line comes out, it comes in at like 9, and we see some ownership get shifted there a little bit. But overall, I mean, I like Detroit a lot. Carpenter and Green are two of my favorite hitters on the entire slate. So, as far as the Rockies go, like, it's the right-handed bats that I don't hate here. Maybe like Beck, Doyle, Goodman. I feel like I said this yesterday, right? I said the right-handed power. Where's my notes? Let's flip back a page and see. My notes on the Rockies, right-handed power. I like Detroit more, but if the Rockies are not getting any ownership, I don't mind. It's a young pitcher, even though I have some interest in him. If they're not getting any ownership, I'll take some shots. Before we get into the Toronto LA game, Scott says, do you think 5 stacks are more profitable than 4 4s or 4 3 1s? I think it depends on the slate. I really do. I know that's like a cop-out answer, but like on Tuesday slate, what was it, 12 games? I tried a 5-man stack, and I'll 5-2-1, I'll 5-1-1-1, I'll 5-3, but I tried a 5-man stack as much as possible on a 12-game slate because there's always typically going to be one offense that like does really well, and you just kind of want to nail that offense in your stack. But I mean, it's baseball. The variance in baseball is really high, so it's really tough to like give a proper answer. But I personally prefer 5-man stacks on most slates. I do 4-4 stack sometimes too, for sure. I 4-4 stack a lot on FanDuel. But I feel like my favorite FanDuel build most slates is like a 3-3-2 type build. So like that's literally the team that I'm sweating on FanDuel that's doing really well is a 3-3-2 stack. Or is it 3-1-3-3-1-1 maybe? Minnesota. Oh, it's a 4-2-1-1. Just kidding. It's not a. I know one of my teams on FanDuel was a 3-3-3-2 that was doing really well. All right, Toronto at LA finishing this out here. 8.5 total. Toronto 120 favorites. We got Jose Barrios against Yusei Kikuchi. And this one. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Barrios up first here. So Barrios, below average strikeout pitcher. He's really struggling with right-handed power. Ha! That is not good when you're facing a lineup that has a lot of right-handed power and they hit right-handed pitching. So I'm hoping Barrios gets some ownership today. I'm out. If he beats me, he beats me. I have a lot of interest in the Angels stack. But at first look here, I don't really have any interest in Barrios. Again, on the season, 15% Ks on righties, 250 ISO, 350 WOBA, struggling with ground balls, struggling with hard contact, 51%, barrel rates 12%. So when you have a team like this that's just full of right-handed power, they're not the best power bats in the world, but they have a lot of right-handed power. I'm just out on Barrios in this spot. Other side here, Yusei Kikuchi. After just kind of dominating last year, I think a lot of us were kind of expecting much better results from him this year. He sat at around 27.8% strikeouts last year, and this year he's at 20.5. And I don't know, this team, the Blue Jays, they're tilting because I mean they have a ton of talent, but yeah, I mean just looking at the advanced stats for Yusei Kikuchi, his four-seam fastball last year had a 28% whiff rate. His velocity is down over a mile an hour per on average. His slider velocity is down. His curveball's velocity is down. So all the pitches that he was generating a lot of whiffs with last year, the whiff rates are way down. The WOBA, xWOBA's high. So, yeah, I mean, not a lot of good results here with Yusei Kikuchi when looking a little bit at his advanced stats. We hate seeing velocity be down on average, and it seems like that might be one of the reasons why he's not generating as many whiffs here. It's not just his fastball; it's all his pitches. So, yeah, I mean, I'm out on Kikuchi as well. Again, I don't necessarily love this matchup anyway. As far as the bats for Toronto, I mean, a lot of interest in Vlad and Springer. Kirk at catcher. Bichette, Santander, typically good against left-handed pitching. I think Toronto is probably more of like mini type one-offs, but I ended up with a lot of interest in Springer and Vlad, I ended up with a lot of Vlad and Springer on Tuesday night slate, and this is a very, very similar type of spot. As far as the Angels, I love the upside for the Angels here today. I think that they're not going to get a lot of ownership. Barrios is not typically a guy people stack against, but they have a lot of right-handed power. Neto, Soler, Ward, Ohapi. They have the right-handed power. So I think this is a really, really interesting spot for them. I'm going to play the Angels today for sure. They're going to be one of my main stacks. It feels weird like in the Angels on any given slate. And I ended up playing them a lot as like secondary stacks on Tuesday night. So we'll see how that kind of shapes up. I'm over here just kind of hoping the Athletics get it going. That the Athletics will make or break my night overall. And I needed the Cubs to win, and they just gave up 6 runs in the top of the 11th to the Giants. The Giants scored 6 runs in the top 11. That I had a 3-bet parlay that just needed the Cubs to win, and they failed me. Even though it's not over, it's over. All right. Morning grind game. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. I mean, I'm going Sanchez. I feel like I kind of hammered that home. I feel like he's way underpriced today. Over 8K to score under 15. My bust today is Barrios. Over 4K to hit a home run. I mean, I think I'm going to go back to Buxton here. I don't think I picked Buxton yesterday, but I like Buxton a lot today. So Buxton is that guy that I want to play for a home run. I think I picked Ruker for a home run yesterday. I don't know. Did I think I wrote it down. I think I picked Ruker. Yeah, I did. Under 4K to score 10 plus points today. I mean, we have some like really solid options. I'm going to go Pasquantino here. Stack to score 6 or more runs. I mean, give me the Twins against Morton and whatever other pitchers that Baltimore rolls out there on this one. So that'll wrap it up for Wednesday. I will not be back tomorrow. I'll be back Friday. I'm going to take Thursday off. Like split slates I have a lot of stuff going on Wednesday night. So between the NASCAR show and all the stuff that I have going on, I'll be back Friday. So I hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday. Have a great Thursday. Hit the subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you all on Friday.